Hi guys, today is gonna be a bit of a notes app video. Let me turn my mic up to make sure that the sound's working, because in my last notes app video documentation the sound wasn't working. But I'll just start off, just explain. This is about kind of, let's say you're trying to abstain from Instagram Reels or TikTok, but a lot of your friends use it for, and you and your friends use it for messaging. How are you supposed to, like, kind of the line between connection and stimulation? Because in today's world it's so hard for us to find where that line is, because they're so intertwined by companies that want our time and stuff. um so that's the first step. It's just start by reframing the core issue. You're not fighting phones, you're fighting design choices built by billion-dollar companies who want your time. So the question isn't why don't I just have more self-control, it's how can I shape my environment so that I can uh, so that these natural tendencies don't get exploited. The first step is separating the communication and stimulation, which is kind of using different apps for different things and maybe putting up a bit of a barrier, like a screen time barrier, or hide it from your home screen barrier on those stimulating apps. Or you can also make it less natural to like scroll on them by using a web version on your computer. That's why I do for Instagram. So it's a bit harder to scroll, and it has to be a bit more conscious. Like, I'm not just gonna tap it with my finger, I have to move the mouse and wait for it to load. Another one is notifications always buzzing. And a good way is, like, we don't know what's important notifications and what is just telling us that someone's posted a new story or someone liked your post. So it's good to turn off the notifications that aren't important, so when you get a notification, you can pick up your phone and check it. Especially a big part of this is boundaries with friends, because if you're maybe trying to improve a bit and not spend as much time on your phone or scrolling or that, I'm sure most people will have friends that also do this. So a big part of that is setting up boundaries. When I hang out with friends, I don't scroll, and that's kind of so my friends learn that hanging out with me is kind of like a no scroll zone, which means that I'm not expecting for anything from them that they can't give, or I'm putting down a boundary and then they're not expecting anything from me that I can't give. It's kind of like boundaries versus expectation. A big thing about self-control, neuroscience doesn't exist the way people think. Like, the neuroscience of self-control, it's not really how people think. It's more about a cognitive load. So it's less about just, because when you're doing self-control, if you're thinking about it, you're controlling it. It's always when it leaves your mind is where you lose the control over it. So how you can help manage that is make less stuff on your mind, which is like removing impulse triggers, automate removing automated behaviors you do and you don't want. Like maybe logging out of apps so it takes 10 seconds to get in if you really want it on your phone in that, or using a password that's actually pretty annoying to remember, like maybe your phone number 3 times so you can remember it, but it's a pain to put in, so it gives you time to activate that self-control and put it on your mind to think about it. What's else? So I guess to sum that up, it's just accepting that self-control isn't the problem. It's about architecture, not discipline. So it's about shaping your environment and not just trying to muscle it out like media culture really tells you to. Separating communication from consumption, that's a big one. Different apps, different devices, screens, or like easiness to get in and out of stuff. Model the social behavior you want, which is your friends adapt more than you think. So if you put down a boundary, they will generally follow it. And what you can start to notice is maybe when they stop scrolling, maybe they'll just actually enjoy stuff more, and then they'll want to hang out with you more and stuff. And it's kind of just putting those values that are good towards your friends too, and they can take it how they want. And yeah, it's just a big thing is like the self kind of hate where you're scrolling and it's like, and you try not to, and it's just like, oh, I don't have no self control. A big thing with that is just ease up on yourself a bit, because the system, like, you're not weak. The system is just really strong. These are billion-dollar companies that study your every move on with like the screen and that. So it's not your fault. You just need a better environment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a big thing on stimulation and that. And I mean, I've met people that can scroll at some points and not scroll at other, and like have deep thinking at some other points. But if you're more similar to me, it's very kind of all in or nothing. So it's a little bit worse off in terms of with some friends who like to talk about that stuff and like to talk about what the latest reel they saw was and that. And I still watch the reels that my friends send me. I just don't scroll, because since this technology and stimulation, even though it's fundamentally more bad than good, a lot of people use it as connection, which kind of puts you in a position where you have to choose. But that's another thing about setting down boundaries is, with the person who I want to become doesn't want to scroll, I have to accept that I won't get along with, or I won't connect with my friends, with certain friends as much, but I'll connect with other friends more. But yeah, that's just a big one. So, another thing is, maybe if you start scrolling all at once, there will be maybe 2 or 3 days where the brain fog hasn't gone away, and maybe I personally felt it where I was just mad at everyone. Like, I was just generally annoyed with everything everywhere, and it went away within a couple of days, but it's pretty substantial, and you don't want to relapse in that time if you are trying to stop. But other than that, I think it's been really good, especially for contemplation. Like some of these deeper videos I've been making, they came from a lot of notes app contemplation, and so I think it's been good overall. I mean, I did go through a bit of a phase where I was just so annoyed because it made it a lot harder just to find that dopamine and stimulation, but I started finding it from other things, which was good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Little update with me. I just went through my first meeting for my new job online, and I'm gonna do the induction in 20 minutes on video call for the whole day, which is pretty good. I'm excited to start. yeah, it's been good. I've I've cashed out. I've put in the order to cash out all my crypto. So in an hour or two, it should all be in my bank account, and I'm kind of done with that digital currency space, which is pretty relieving for me. I didn't really like it. Very stressful. I said more about that in my last documentation video. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the date is 24th of, I think, November 2025, 10:09 a.m. And yeah, that's the end of the video.